Last time somebody asked me if I could make a video in English, how to make this salsa, and I said okay. So I decided to make this video in English, and this is my favorite salsa. I've been making salsa for over 2 years, and this is a very easy to make salsa. You're never gonna find this salsa in any supermarket. We're gonna use 9 tomatoes. You can use 10 tomatoes. Make sure you rinse them. So after you wash them, put them in a pan, and then just put them inside the oven because we're gonna use the broiler. You can also grill them. You can put them on a grill and just burn the skin. And so what I like to do when I put it in the broiler, I like to use a high temperature. So I go 525 for maybe like 20 minutes on each side, and that's it. That's all you gotta do right there. The reason that I like to burn the tomatoes is because I like to get the flavor out. I don't like to use them raw like that, because if you make a salsa without use burning the skin, or your salsa is not gonna taste delicious. I'm gonna use like three bunches of cilantro as well, and make sure you wash them because they have a lot of dirt. I use 2 red bell pepper and 3 avocados and a dozen of limes. And I like to wash everything before I make the salsa. I'm also gonna use two small onions, and in a pan uh, we're gonna add some oil. But before that, we're gonna cut the onions. You don't have to cut the onions in very small pieces. It doesn't really matter because we're gonna blend everything at the end. So just cut them, whichever way you like. So I'm using 2 onions, and onions are very good in any Latin salsa. And we don't want to use them raw. The reason that we cook everything is because the flavors and the aromas come out, and everything tastes much better. So you can use any kind of oil. I'm using here vegetable oil, not too much. Just wait for the oil to get hot, and I'm gonna use probably like 9 garlic cloves right there. I like to use garlic. I love garlic, so I always use garlic in all my food. See, they were a little wet, so that's why you see the oil, acting like that. After that, then we put the two onions that we chop, and we have to caramelize everything here. Just take your time when you're making this salsa. Don't hurry, don't rush anything. Just cook everything in a nice way. So we're using the 2 red bell pepper. Bell pepper gives this salsa a little bit of sweetness, and it's always good to use bell pepper. I never seen a lot of people making salsa with bell pepper. I think this is my own style, and I like it. So after you chop them, just go ahead and put it on a plate, and then just put them together with the onions and the garlic. It's gonna take probably like 20 minutes to fry everything. The longer you cook this, the better your salsa is gonna taste, because it's not gonna get very sweet, but it's gonna get intense in flavor, and it's gonna have a nice, nice, nice bite. So just stir everything. Just cook everything, and when you're doing this, your kitchen is gonna smell fantastic. I'm using chile de arbol. I think this is a Mexican chile, and you can find them in a lot of stores. They usually dry. It's very hard to find fresh chile de arbol, and these are very spicy. So I'm only using a dozen. You can use a chile serrano. You can use jalapeno. You can also use a chipotle. There's a lot of many kinds of chile that you can use in this salsa. So if you don't find this chile de arbol, you go ahead and find use anything else. As you can see, you start seeing the change that the vegetables are taking right now, and everything smells delicious here. The onions, the garlic, the bell pepper. So while everything's cooking there, I'm gonna go ahead and get all the juice out of these limes. I don't want to wait at the end. So you just cut them and have them ready. You can see that your vegetables are getting smaller. They're becoming reduced, but they're becoming tastier. Let's go and check how the tomatoes are going right now here. Everything's so hot, so we have to use a towel, and you can see it right there. 3, 5, 6, yeah, 9 tomatoes. You can use a dozen if you like. So what you have to do is just flip them over. You see right there, they look delicious. So don't go ahead and just throw everything together without cooking because your salsa is not gonna taste great. Okay, so like in a separate bowl, you go ahead and start squeezing all the juices. It's better to have them ready so you don't have to use one by one. And the lime brings down the spiciness on any salsa. It also gives them a refreshing taste. It makes everything taste delicious. So you always want to use lime. And then we're gonna get 3 avocados. I like to use avocado in this salsa. Let's go and take a picture of it. And the avocado gives this salsa a little bit of creaminess. The cream is very tasty too. So go ahead, use avocado. And somebody told me that they make this. I have a tomatillo salsa, and somebody made it. And he said, "Man, this salsa tastes just like a taqueria." I totally disagree with that. In the taquerias, they add water, and they don't take their time making their salsa. Everything's watery. It's okay, but it's not very. It's tasty, but it's not delicious. So let's get all the meat out of this avocado and have them ready right here. You can use this salsa for like chicken, meat, uh, tacos. You can use it in rice and beans. It could be eaten in many many ways. It doesn't really have to be like a Mexican food. You can use. You'll be surprised if you cook some scrambled eggs and just throw this salsa on top of it. It's gonna taste fantastic. Right there. See, after we flip the tomatoes, they look great. So let's then put them on the side. Now we're gonna cut the cilantro. We don't want to use the lower part, just the upper, only the leaves. Let's see. The more cilantro you put, the better your salsa is gonna taste as well. So after we got everything ready, let's go and use a blender. I used to have a food processor, but I don't have it anymore with me, so I have to buy a new one. But if you don't have a food processor, you can use a blender. And even it's gonna take you longer though, because there's not a lot of space in a food processor. Everything blends faster and easier. So you start putting to make this salsa in a blender, you have to go part by part. So you start putting everything there. You can see that I already put the caramelized onions, and then put some juices to make the blender process easier. And then you just start pressing any button you like. You can use grind, blend, anything, and you start seeing the result right there. Yeah, I used to. If you can watch my Spanish video, I always use a food processor, and I could make this like in 2 minutes. But it's kind of hard when you don't have that, so you have to use whatever you have. And you see right there, that's a great salsa. Now, don't go ahead and eat this salsa right away. You'll be making a big mistake if you do that. The trick to this salsa is that you have to put them inside the fridge. And it's gonna cut. Everything's gonna taste much better the next day. See, I have to use a spoon just to make the blender process a little faster and easier too. So I just went ahead and started, blending part by part, part by part. In 3 stages, everything was done. It's right there. So the salsa is already finished. It's not. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it just take a lot of effort, and you'll be surprised how this salsa tastes when you eat it. Now it looks like a lot of salt. I like to use kosher salt, but it's a lot of salsa, so you have to use salt. And just start blending everything. I mean, if you make some tacos, some burritos, or if you grill some chicken, you can go ahead and use this salsa, and you'll be happy that you're using this. It's always good to taste it when you're making it too, to see if you like the flavor. You can add more lime juice. You can add more salt. If you want it spicier, you can add more chiles. It just depends, what kind of taste you have for salsa. And after the salsa is finished, you know what I like to do? I like to add curry powder. You'll be like, what? What are you doing, man? No, it tastes very well too, very delicious. I mean, you can make it without using curry powder, and it will taste great. But I like to use curry powder, and you know what I like to do with the salsa? I like to take it where I work, and I share it with all my co-workers, and they like it. They go, man, that's a great salsa. Can you make more? And I go, sure, yeah, whatever. But it's a great salsa. And I've been making this for 2 years, and I have many, many kinds of salsa. I hope you make it. If you like it, let me know. You know, like I say, you don't have to go and buy a crappy salsa, in the supermarket, pay like $3 or $4. You don't spend a lot of money using all these vegetables. And you say you have to put it in a container and let it sit in the fridge for overnight, and then tomorrow it will taste so much better. And that's it. That's how you make this salsa, okay? So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like it. I hope you understand my English. Some people complain that they say, "Man, I don't understand your English."